Studios on this motherfucking video.
Welcome, one and all, to the Some Film Snobs podcast with your hosts, Sean Reinert, Matthew Smith, and Jacob Ramos. With our special guest, Nobody. And here's your host, the Snobs. Hi, welcome to the Some Film Snobs podcast. I am your host, or one of them, Sean Reinert.
I'm Matt Smith, one of the other hosts.
I'm Jacob.
This is Jacob Macbeth. He is our great friend.
Yeah.
And real quick, because nobody else cares and my life is a wreck. It's my birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Time to drink my same old jet.
You can't speak. You're already drunk, Sean. It's just stop right here.
My Samuel L. Adams Oktoberfest. So.
So his drink limit is 1.
No.
Half,
no,
actually.
No,
It's just
actually.
half.
I've been having I've been having a problem stuttering, but anyway.
Well, I was unaware of that.
No, it's been bad lately. I don't know why. It's just been worse. But anyway, so yeah, we have a bunch of stuff to go over today.
It's all gonna be fun.
Jacob and I are gonna talk about a movie. Matt's gonna talk about a movie, and then we're just gonna go over some news.
Oh boy, it has remakes in it.
Nothing crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary for us boring ass people. But all right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you briefly mentioned Macbeth. I don't know, how long ago was our last podcast?
I don't have
say a month
Anchor up
ago.
at the moment.
I can check YouTube.
Late August, I think?
Yeah, so...
Aren't we terrible at this?
Well, yeah, but we've always been terrible at this,
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
Since the dawn of man.
I mean, remember we were supposed to have that solo review out in May? It came out in June.
Yikes.
And yeah.
Alright, well, anyways, since then, you briefly mentioned Macbeth. Oh my god, I can't speak. I saw the 2015 adaptation of Macbeth,
The Michael Fassbender
with Michael
version.
Fassbender and
damn it,
Marion
you mentioned
Cotillard.
The one done by Kenneth Branagh.
He directed that?
Is it by Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah,
Let me double
I'm
check.
pretty sure it's Kenneth Branagh.
The man who directed... Didn't he also direct Frankenstein?
Yeah.
And he was a star. Oh, man.
Or,
With Robert
wait.
De Niro's monster. All the fun stuff.
Because I was talking to someone about this, and
No,
he,
it's not
was
Kenneth Branagh.
swearing
What
that
the
it
fuck?
wasn't Kenneth Branagh. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Am I
Yeah, your friend was right.
confusing it with another version?
Probably. Or maybe Hamlet.
Or maybe Hamlet, I don't know.
He did direct Hamlet.
What's a Shakespeare?
It was directed by Justin Kurzel. He did.
Just dude.
Wow, he has not done a lot.
Oh, he did Assassin's Creed, I can't trust.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh no. Oh no.
Wow, you go from
Oh no.
fantastic.
You go from a
Macbeth
pretty
adaptation.
good movie, and then you go into complete garbage like that.
It's funny how I liked Actually, I both liked and hated Assassin's Creed at the same time. I liked the past portions a little bit, but only a little bit. You know what would have been a really good idea? Just take the Ezio trilogy of stories and adapt that, because people like that character.
Or how about you just take the scripts and you realize this sucks, and then you throw it in the garbage.
Sean, you realize I'm trying to think from the
Or
point of view
you
of someone who
give it
wants
to the
make-
you give it to the intern to eat for his lunch break.
For his lunch, he eats it.
Yes.
I shred it on my meatball sub.
It's like his Parmesan. He puts it in like a paper to Parmesan converter.
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
He just gets a
yeah.
cheese grater.
He's just like,
Breaks
I hate my life.
Oh wow, I taste the bland. Michael Fassbender in this. Actually, no. Michael Fassbender was good in that movie.
All right, we should probably let Jacob
Anyways,
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jacob, talk.
but I don't know. I feel like it was like 100% accurate adaptation of Macbeth. Like there's like little. Honestly, there wasn't even any changes. I feel like the only thing they added was they gave like this little backstory of Lady Macbeth, I guess, having a miscarriage or something, or at least just a bait. They had a prior child and it just died. That's something that they added. But other than that, the play is it's pretty much just the play Macbeth by Shakespeare,
Okay.
like 100% accurate. And I know it got some flack for that, but I feel like we could use like more modern adaptations of Shakespeare,
Yeah, I would.
like with modern techniques and technology.
Yeah, because like I
Like
mean,
I know
there's they're
Netflix,
like
they're doing that King Henry adaptation.
because I was
Man.
like I was never like a huge Shakespeare guy, but like though I remember I liked the '68 Romeo and Juliet.
That's a great film.
Hated
I haven't
the
seen it in a long time though.
hated the '98 one.
Oh yeah.
With Leo.
Yeah.
You know what my problem with that movie is?
Wait,
That's
who
a
played
little
Juliet in
rough.
that?
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
Who the fuck is that?
Uh, listen. The problem I have with that movie is the fact that it's old. It's Shakespearean English in modern day Los Angeles. Like what the fuck? I can't wait. I can't wait for the Elvis movie directed by Baz Luhrmann, where it's gonna have him do Shakespearean dialogue out of nowhere.
Could you imagine if they like tried doing that same thing again, but it was like in Compton and they were talking Shakespearean, everybody else was
Oh,
talking normal?
Oh god.
I'll fuck you up. So you say?
Oh,
Are you just?
I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
referencing Baz
like,
Luhrmann.
well, I guess it pretty much is like the '68 Romeo and Juliet. Like it has the old English and everything.
Yeah,
This
68,
Macbeth film.
the 68 Romeo and Juliet was set in Shakespeare's time too. It wasn't just the language, but also the setting. They did
Yeah.
another remake of it where it's modern English in the old setting.
Which doesn't make any sense.
It
Like,
doesn't, but for some
have some
reason,
Wait,
sort of-
modern English in the old setting?
yeah, not even like probably fully modern English. They don't use any.
I don't think it could be that bad because like you
Yeah.
have like shows like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, like where they're obviously medieval period.
I
but
don't
with
have a
modern
problem
But that's
with
like-
that.
That's an
I
entirely
don't
different
mind that.
entity, though. We're talking Shakespeare here.
I mean,
Well, I guess yeah, you're
the
right.
thing is, as long as it's like not like, oh, we're gonna use all the modern hip sayings.
What
Like
up, dog?
fam.
Oh, that'd be
Like they wouldn't go that far, but like, you know, it's more like those modern.
Julietta thought. No.
What's up, cuz?
Hey
Jesus.
Romeo, you woke? Yep. The more I use modern modern slang, the sicker I get. So let's stop before I
Yeah,
die.
it's just
Fucking old head. Anyway.
Yeah, you bet.
regardless. I'm looking forward to that Netflix thing, The King, which is an adaptation of King Henry by Shakespeare. And it
Yeah.
looks like it's gonna be accurate as well to the play.
Nice and yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just wish we got more of that, like instead of like just forgetting. Because like this film, like on its own, it's just the play. But if you read a lot of the reviews, they're like, "Oh, it's just plain old Macbeth."
Really?
That's right.
Yeah.
No changes made. Nothing
Like
added.
it's like a lot of 7s and 6s pretty much, and it's all like
Ooh.
Same
it's
old
just,
song
well, I mean,
and
it's
dance.
just like yeah, exactly. That's kind of what they say. But but a lot of the more positive ones are like Marion Cotillard and Michael Fassbender really hold up this adaptation of Macbeth. There's not
Well,
really
listen.
much creative whatever.
I'm really
Like-
excited for the West Side Story remake that's coming out. Well, directed by Steven Spielberg.
They like modernize the songs and add like 808s and shit. Add like some like hip hop in it, but like some like shitty hip hop. So they like bring
Well,
they
Anyways.
bring like 6ix9ine out of prison.
Don't
Any-
no,
any-
don't bring him up
anyways.
into this.
Let me
He's
just
not
finish
strong
my
person.
thought. Good film. Check it out if you want. It's really well shot as well, so
Yeah. I have to
Yeah,
watch
it
it
was a film
again.
I enjoyed.
In a long time. But so Jacob, I
Now, if
guess.
you want to talk about your West Side Story,
Well, I was gonna
um,
transition.
I know Ansel Elgort's in that.
Yep. And
Bicycle
he was gonna
thieves,
be
damn it!
Elvis at some point.
Jacob, what
Jeez,
the
we all
fuck?
want to talk about different stuff. Well, I thought Matt wanted to talk about West Side Story.
Well, briefly, like I've never really seen much of the original, but I know it's a really good film.
I've seen it.
What are you talking about? There's a remake? Does it exist?
Yeah, they're making a remake.
I know, I'm joking.
Okay. I mean, we always talk about remakes, don't we?
Well, cause like, okay, but like, okay, real quick, I'm just gonna say my problem with that movie is more of a personal one. Like, yeah, they can make a modern one. I actually don't. I don't mind the idea, because there are some elements of the original that I feel like do need to be updated for now. Because if people were to watch the old one now, you'd be screwed.
I don't even think it's gonna be a. I don't know much about this new one. All I know is Spielberg, Ansel Elgort. That's it. So yeah.
Because like
Really, the film
most of like
I want. Yeah.
most of the original cast, from what I remember reading, was like a bunch of Greeks, like just a bunch of Greeks.
A bunch of Greeks.
A bunch of
What?
Greeks. A bunch of Greeks playing Puerto Ricans
Natalie Wood was
Are you talking about in the original?
in the original.
original.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's something I read. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
now that's it.
even
Well,
for
I mean,
even for the 50s, that's like
You
I was
know,
just gonna say it's the time.
yeah.
I'm just gonna mention one more thing about the original.
And
that I know.
honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. Like,
Go on.
a lot of Puerto Ricans, they have heavy European ancestry anyway, so.
Yeah.
Like Southern European, like Italian, Portuguese, Spanish.
Well, like also I know I know like literally like a good like 70% of my friend base is Puerto Ricans. I don't know, but like they don't care that the original casting is the way it is.
Well, it's just
a lot
because
of them
they
love the
know it's the
original.
part of the times.
Yeah.
My mom loves West Side Story.
I just want to mention my random bit of trivia that won't make a difference in the long run.
Sorry if I was worded poorly to anybody.
It's a.
I tried.
You know they were gonna cast Elvis in that movie. I forgot what part, but yeah, no.
Yeah, we gotta get the sharks. We gotta get the sharks.
Ah, yes. Elvis would take some lemonade.
Just some lemonade.
Mm. That cool, refreshing drink. God. Love Delirious.
Either way, I could care less about another remake.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, if they do,
it's good, it's good.
if
If
they
it's
do,
bad, bad.
if they do something different with it, then yeah, maybe. But like, I don't really care anymore.
Well,
See,
I think they should do.
like, I wouldn't have been opposed to the idea if this was like 10 years ago, but now since everything's a remake, I'm opposed to everything remakes.
I'm thinking, Taming of the Shrew, but like a proper, why not, proper adaptation of that.
Huh.
Do it with like or a modern adaptation that isn't 10 Things I Hate About You. 'Cause why not? Anyway, what's our next? Wait, you know what? Let's not move on just yet, unless we want to.
Well, Jacob, you wanted to talk about bicycle thieves, right?
Yes, I did.
Do you want to go into that now?
Matt, when do you want us to talk about?
I mean, I do have a. I got movies to talk about too. Yeah. Let's see. I've got movies I need to talk about.
Society. Anyway.
Welcome to Matt Smith ASMR. Pop filter always has to go up when I do ASMR. Okay, today we're going to talk about the movie It Chapter 2.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
That is fine.
Because I don't
Here's-
care.
I can proudly say that in the last like 6 months, every film I've seen has been like very small budgets.
I've
really
barely watched anything
care.
new. I don't know why. Like maybe it's because I've been so busy with college or something. But like,
Probably.
I've been watching a lot of older stuff, like stuff I haven't even like caught up to. So like,
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, kind of. But no, with It Chapter 2, I think it's a good film. and I don't have much to say outside of that because it's been so long since I've seen it. Any kind of review I would have given it, whoops, it's gone.
Mm.
Actually, I'll say I did like Bill Hader as the older Richie. I thought that was.
I heard
really
he
good.
was good in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James McAvoy's pretty good too. Actually, I thought the whole adult cast were really good together. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah. What else? Ooh. I recently rewatched Ratatouille. After God knows how many years.
I guess in chapter 2 is just kind of like whatever.
No, here's the thing. It's a good film, man. And I have to. I want to see it again, but yeah, it's been again. If we had done this review like this whole podcast like 2 weeks ago, I would have been able to give you a good, decent review of it.
Well, all
But
right.
since I didn't think we were gonna review it,
I'll give you this question then. How does it compare to the first part in terms of like quality? Because like I didn't particularly care for the first one at first, but then it kind of grew on me. It's still not like a great film. I think it's just kind of like good but not great. But like
I would say it's about the same quality. Like it's the same, and it just reminded me of something. I always think about how we say things, but you ever think about how people just say their review, like their opinion, like it's a matter of fact?
what are you talking about? My review is a fact.
No, well, I'm saying like
I'm
even
joking.
including my kind of style reviewing. Like I
Mm.
always notice that it seems like a lot of people will say their opinion of it's a bad movie. Like for a fact, it's a bad movie. I
Without
mean, The
any
Room is a bad
photos.
movie, but it's so entertaining. Like not stuff like that. I mean, like I don't know, like Hobbs and Shaw. Let's use that as an example.
I forgot that even existed until like it came out. I was looking at like showtimes and I was like,
You know,
what? That's a
I'm not
thing?
gonna lie.
I forgot that existed until I just saw my recommended one day this like parody trailer for Game of Thrones. It was like Hobbs and Shaw, but it was Jamie and Braun.
Oh my
I'm not
It
gonna lie.
god.
was fucking.
I did enjoy myself when I saw it.
You've been going to the
Is
movies way more than us, Matt.
yeah, you're right.
Matt has a
So,
lot
yeah,
more time.
I saw
That's the
Hobbs and
thing.
Shaw. I saw Hobbs and Shaw as well. And really, to put it this way, I did enjoy myself. It was a good time, and that's really it. And I think that's why people go to the Fast and the Furious movies. To
Just
have a
because
good time.
it's like a shit and giggles
It's
kind of
fun.
movie.
It's just having a good time. It's a popcorn movie. You pop some popcorn, you sit down, you watch the action. That's it.
It does kind of remind me of another franchise, but I'll get into that later.
Some other time. But like the last thing I want to mention, I also rewatched Pleasantville.
Oh, okay.
You said Pleasantville?
Pleasantville, yeah. It's and Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man too.
Wait, Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man
Pleasantville.
2 or Spider-Man FF?
Or Spider-Man
H.
2.3, the extended sex cut.
Spider-Man 2, the theatrical cut.
Or the Spider-Man
Oh my
1.5,
God.
more
Alright.
boobs.
Let me clarify. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2, or Spider-Man 3?
Or Spider-Man
Spider-Man
1.2,
2.
more boobs edition.
Okay, Spider-Man 2. Okay.
Tobey Maguire, Alfred Molina. And I mentioned that because Tobey Maguire is
boy,
also
yeah.
in the film Pleasantville. Spider-Man 2 holds up, and it's the best Spider-Man movie. No questions asked. I like the Tom Holland films. The first Amazing Spider-Man's okay. The second one's hot garbage. Spider-Man 3 is a guilty pleasure. 2 is the best. And 1 is, for me, close to that.
Oh no.
So,
Very different, but I love
wait. Since you've rewatched Spider-Man 2 recently,
Oh.
there was
Yeah.
the big, well, I know we had to joke about it in our Spider-Verse review, but since you've recently seen Spider-Man 2, do you still rank it above Spider-Verse?
Yes. And I love
Okay.
Spider-Verse 2.
I'd still rank it
That's-
above. I'd still think it's the best Spider-Man movie. Like even after like Far From Home was pretty good, and a lot of people are saying that's like the best Spider-Man movie.
Far From Home doesn't have any of the themes of... well, it has maybe one or two themes, but like it doesn't have
the
theme
thing
of...
is like Far From Home and even Spider-Verse and Homecoming, they don't have any of the same sort of like
it's funny
emotional.
how I never get to try to explain my own point of view. I feel like I just sit here in silence sometimes. Like,
I'll get the invisible whip.
Shut
Dad
up, Matt. No, but all I was trying to say was that none of the other films, they don't deal with what Spider-Man 2 deals with. Spider-Man 2, the basic theme for me is the whole thing is it's about doing what's right, even if you have to let go of your dreams. I mean, it's obvious and it's stated throughout the film, but still, that we never have any moments like that. We never have any big emotional moments like that. Like, the dream scene with Uncle Ben in Homecoming. Well, or even Far From Home. They're great films, but Spider-Man 2 is on a different level.
Yee.
And to go back to a different Tobey Maguire film, Pleasantville. It's a strange looking comedy where Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon are brother and sister. And they're trapped in this 50s TV show called Pleasantville.
Show?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sean, it's even scarier than Truman Show because there's no plumbing. There's no toilets at all.
Where do they shit?
The books are blank, and there's nothing outside of Pleasantville.
I need to know the economics of this world, like the shit economics of this world.
One last thing to mention: Paul Walker is in that movie.
Did he not hit a tree?
Wait, what?
What?
Paul Walker back from the dead?
No, this was made. Yeah,
Tupac 2.0.
But in all seriousness, yeah, I didn't know Paul Walker was in Pleasantville until he arrives on scene, and I said, "Why do I recognize him?"
Pleasantville was like early 2000s, I think.
98.
98. Damn, was it really that old? Shit.
Yes, it is. But yeah, I saw his face. I thought, "Who is he?" Looked up IMDb. Yeah, it's Paul Walker. I didn't realize it.
He wasn't wrecked by a tree yet.
You're going to hell for that one.
I can tell you right now, it's been a very long day.
Yeah, you're right.
Without you, my friend.
And
Sean,
like I said
you're gonna
earlier,
have to do 10 solid Hail Marys after this podcast.
Ratatouille is an incredible film also, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite Pixar film.
We recently got it in 4K. It's beautiful. The food looked so real.
I saw that movie at a drive-in theater.
I saw that in an AMC theater. I remember.
I was with my family, and on the screen over, they were playing Harry Potter. Some couple was banging in the car, visible in front of everybody.
I had a much more kid-friendly experience.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to eat Ratatouille, the dish, and then I looked it up when I was older, and I was like, "What? This is all vegetables? Fuck out of here!"
I actually tried it. I shit you not. It's okay. It has to be made in a very specific way, from what I understand. But
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I like the story. I like the film.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's the most mature for Pixar.
I'd say so.
It's I don't know how to really
more
describe it.
More mature than Up.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's so many themes in that movie that resonate with not just kids, but everybody, which is what I loved about older Pixar. Because they always found a way. They always found a way to make everybody happy with their films and stuff like that. And then they went to shit, and
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you're around for a long time.
Then we get Woody going after the Pooh Nanny. Good message for the kids.
I'm actually gonna probably give that film another shot.
Toy Story 4.
I mean, I'm the only one who liked it of the three of us. No, Jacob, you liked it too, but not.
I liked it, but I was like, eh. I liked it, but I said that I couldn't find a reason. I couldn't find a reason within the film to justify why it exists.
I mean, neither could I. Even though I did really like it, I didn't see it as having a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way.
Well, I didn't go into it with any sort of expectations, and it came out of it, and somehow my expectations lowered.
That's weird.
Because I hold those films up to a very high standard, but I'm not gonna get into this rant again. Just watch the Toy Story.
Yeah, because
anyway.
Yeah, there was another rant. I think. Yeah.
But
Well, I guess I've seen a couple things, or I've seen one thing in the theater, and I saw a couple other things that I guess I could talk about before we get into Bicycle Thieves.
damn it! No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck, Sean. Alright, cool. Alright, I recently saw this A24 film, called The Farewell.
I've heard of that.
It's like, it's no, not half Japanese, half Chinese and half English.
Ooh.
So, basically the story of the film is, there's this grandma in the family who is diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and she basically has like 3 months to live, and none of her family will tell her. And the youngest like grandchild, she's like a millennial, like annoying millennial, honestly. Like every stereotype of a millennial you could think of is our main protagonist. And she is like dealing with like struggling, like how can we not tell grandma about this, and wouldn't she want to say goodbye? And it basically just explores like the cultural differences between like Eastern and like Far East and the West. And it's a really good film because like our main character, her parents brought her to the US when she was really little, and while the extended family still lived in China. So it's a really good film, honestly. It was very enjoyable. A24.
So
Fucking love that shit.
you said
You guys got a question?
you said the grandmother had stage 4 cancer, right?
All right. So basically, what happens is, that the grandmother's sister, like great aunt, she is the one that's like talking to the doctor. So the grandmother doesn't get to see like her results and shit.
Ah.
Like in China, they have different medical laws.
Oh yeah.
Like in the US, it's illegal like for you to hide medical history and shit from your patients and stuff. It's not like that in China. So basically the sister lied to the grandma because it's like family tradition that they don't tell a older person if they have cancer. And it's like the duty of the family to hold that burden for them instead of having them be miserable their last days.
So it's an A24 film that revolves around stage 4 cancer. Talk about an A24.
A24 is one of the more like I really love A24.
I wanted that joke to be funnier than it came out to be.
Yeah.
It's not perfect though. I feel like there's a little bit of redundancy. There's a little bit of redundancy in the story. Like I feel like a few times we had the same conversation over and over, but
oh my god.
Overall, I liked it.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'll have to check it out.
I'll check it out too.
And then I guess 2 other things on Netflix that recently watched. They're like in the same genre. They're like that psychological sci-fi. So you guys could jump on whichever ones you've seen. So I saw Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, that movie.
And Amy Adams. And I saw Ex Machina with Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson.
Talk about a futuristic blowjob, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, I know him. He was in those Harry Potter movies.
And in the sequel trilogy, he plays Super Ginger Nazi Man in Last Jedi.
Just another positive. Remember what a good role he had?
Wait, what?
Can we talk about the fact he played the writer of Winnie the Pooh as well?
Oh yeah.
Wait, really?
He did, yeah. It was called Goodbye Christopher Robin. That was him.
Wow.
He's got some range. And he played Bob Geldof too at some point.
Now I want to check that out.
Movie.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, he's a great actor. He's done a lot of great work, even if he is in the weirdest and worst of the Star Wars trilogies. Well, no, that's not true. The prequels are still really bad. Well, I haven't seen them in a long time, so I can't say.
Society.
Anyway, you guys got anything you want to talk about? Either of those 2 films you guys have seen?
Well, I've seen Her. I saw it like 2014, like a year after it came out, or something like that. I remember liking it. I remember
loved it.
I remember, like, I haven't watched it in a long time, so I have to probably rewatch it. But I remember like being kind of, because I was still in high school. I remember being kind of weirded out by the computer blowjob.
Oh
So
yeah.
now I have to see it.
But
Oh, who directed what?
Her. Who directed her?
Spike Jones.
Okay.
Spike. Okay, yeah. Just wanted to. Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about it. There's a scene in her that Blade Runner 2049 ripped off.
Oh man.
Which scene is that?
It's when they like hire the girl to like be basically like the AI
Oh shit!
like sex sex person. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's basically this. If anyone listening of our 50 people have seen Blade Runner 2049,
Take that,
where
Blade
like the
Runner.
hologram AI has sex with that lady or whatever. It's basically the same thing in her, except her came out first.
There's nothing really original left anyway. You know. I mean, some things are pointless.
It's
like
just a notice, just a little small thing. Jeez.
You're getting,
no, I'm not,
you're,
no,
get,
no,
you're
it's
getting,
not you.
you're getting a
No,
little,
it's not you.
you're getting a
It's
little,
nothing to do with you.
you're getting a little existential there, Matt.
No, Sean.
Everything is pointless.
I mean, Marvin Gaye. Somebody involved with the Marvin Gaye song is suing somebody else again. Oh no.
Because music is not, you know.
Well, Ed Sheeran is being sued by Marvin Gaye.
You know what?
No,
Because
not
of
Marvin
that
Gaye.
lawsuit, I now
someone
own the G
representing-
chord.
No, he's not being sued by Marvin Gaye. He's being sued by somebody representing Ed Townsend, who is the co-writer of Let's Get It On.
Yeah.
I wanted to make that clear because
Well, because Marvin
I
Gaye
do
is
sometimes
dead.
know things. Look, all I'm saying is, it's a pointless lawsuit. And you know what? Katy Perry did nothing wrong. She also got sued by somebody because, her song has something that's vaguely similar to another one.
Well, getting that haircut maybe, but anyway.
Anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way.
You're not
Wait,
saying.
either of you seen Ex Machina?
No,
I've
part of it. Only part of it.
Never gotten around to it. I don't know why.
Not the whole
I've
thing.
had every intention. I've just never gotten around
Me
to
too.
it. I know it's a really good film, from what I understand.
I mean, Oscar Isaac he's good in it from what I remember.
Yeah.
And I have
There's,
seen some of the visual effects shots because
I know Oscar Isaac got memed from that movie. There's like a funny dance scene of Oscar Isaac
that.
in Ex Machina. It's a
Well-
good film though. Of the two, I'd say I liked her slightly more, but Ex Machina was really good.
You know, it's funny. As you're talking about,
That was
these
A24 as well,
movies,
wasn't it?
Ex Machina
Yeah.
or her?
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina was A24.
I think it was A24.
Had to be like
Yeah.
an early A24 thing, but anyway.
That was you're like, well, yeah.
Yeah, it is A24.
Okay, so what were you gonna say, Matt? Before I interrupted you, sorry.
I was gonna talk about the fact that there's a new JonTron video, very briefly.
Why do I have to record this right now?
That's why I'm saying.
I'm like screeching autistically, like internally.
And you're talking about externally. But yeah, no.
Oh, the irony.
Anyway, you guys are gonna talk about Bicycle Thieves, if I remember correctly. I didn't get around to watching it because I'm a very busy man.
You're a fucking heathen.
Well, I am, but I am also very busy.
So, Bicycle Thieves, real quick. Jacob, you've seen. When did you see this movie?
Probably like in the beginning of this month.
Oh, okay. So you saw it pretty much recently, like me.
Yeah, I saw it recently.
Did you watch the like a Blu-ray or a DVD?
I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, is it on
Which
YouTube?
I was just gonna say before we even get into it, if there's any film you watch from our listening to this podcast, watch Bicycle Thieves. It's on YouTube. The person who uploaded it is they've made subtitles. There's captions, whatever.
I will
So
say though, real
pretty
quick,
high quality too.
just to inject, it's Criterion has released a DVD of it. This DVD that I have in my hand, actually, I borrowed from my college's library. That's how I saw it. This is one of those classic films I've always meant to watch, but I've never gotten around to it for some reason. So I borrowed it because Jacob was like, "You should watch this movie," and I was like, "All right." My library had it, so I was like, I borrowed it. It has a booklet and everything. It's actually a really cool set.
Damn.
But like, I put this in this version. This actually has like two versions, and Jacob and I were having a conversation about this last night. It has the original Italian audio with English subtitles, and it also has an English dub, which I didn't know existed.
Eek.
And I like after I watched the movie, I wanted to see what the English dub was like, so I put it on just out of curiosity for like the first 10 minutes. It's not too bad for an Italian dub in the late 40s. The dialogue is structured differently because they didn't want to make it sync up, but that's pretty much it.
Alright, like, I guess like it's sort of before like we get into the movie itself, I want to talk about dubs, I guess, for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's not about like I know there's a lot of people who like complain about like anime people who are like, you gotta watch the Japanese version. It's just I think it's just a thing where sometimes the translation makes it just sounds like shit in English. No matter what the language is.
It depends. It really much depends on the source material. Yeah. Like
well, not just that. I just think it's like just sometimes when it's translated, it's not gonna sound as nice.
Yeah, like as much as I love The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it's one of my all-time favorite films. Literally, like my top 3. I think if you watch it with the original Italian audio with English subtitles, there's just a tad more of an impact. But it's one of those movies where the English dub really works.
Well, that's good
because they've found a way to make it work.
I think that's you know
that's just how technology evolves, though. Like, I mean, this movie was 48, I think. Yeah, 48 on the back of the DVD I have right here on my PC. And you know, the English dub is actually really not bad for 48. Dubs back then were pretty bad because, you know, technology. But
yeah.
It's actually really well done. Like, I was kind of shocked.
Alright, but yeah, let's just get into the movie itself.
Yeah,
Dubs, not subs.
Wait, what, Matt?
I decided to subvert your expectations and say dubs, not subs. No reason. I don't actually really feel
proceeds
that
to
way.
Homer choke. Proceeds to Homer Simpson
Takes
choke.
beer bottle, realizes it's empty. Complete sadness.
Good, you deserve that.
Wow. Okay.
I'm in a bad mood right now.
This movie.
uh,
This movie. I love it.
Yes, I absolutely loved it when I was finished with it.
There's just so much to talk about. I mean, this was like part of the neo-Italianism. Is that what it's called?
Italian neo-realist.
Neo-realism.
It was like in the post World War II, like Italian, like when, because the Italians, like they had basically at first they were with the Nazis and the Axis powers, and then they sort of just left. They like,
yeah, fuck
yo,
these
I'm
guys.
out, bro. Yeah, and
these guys are dicks.
It was like a super bad time for the Italian economy. And
Yeah,
there was a lot of poverty, and this movie pretty much like tells its story around that.
Yeah, because I mean, for our audience who doesn't know what you know neo-realism is, it's basically it's all stories about, you know, like small, like mostly like lower income, you know, citizens going through some sort of, you know, adventure or stuff like that. And the title basically, you know, kind of gives away what happens. Obviously, this guy's bike gets stolen, and he goes with his son around Rome.
Well, I think the title it makes so much more sense after the end of the film.
Yeah, which when I got to the ending, I was like, I didn't expect it to actually end the way it did.
I don't even want to spoil the ending.
No,
because
I don't either. Cause it's that good.
The title, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, if you really think about it, though, the title does kind of give it away.
It does kind of, but like, I don't think you really think about it until
it actually happens.
Yeah.
But I was reading a little bit about behind the scenes of this film, and from what I understand, they weren't really like actors per se. They just kind of took people that were like really, 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 really small, and they were like, "You want to be in a movie?"
Well, the son in the. All right, I think we should at least give a synopsis of the plot, right?
Yeah,
so that people could get a decent idea.
Let me
of what...
actually, do you mind if I just read off the back of this Criterion disc right here?
Oh yeah, sure. That's perfect.
Right. Hailed around the world as one of the greatest movies ever made, Vittorio De Sica, is that how you say that?
Well, I can't see it, so just you.
It's the
He
director.
apologizes in post. He didn't mean to
Sorry.
disrespect about the name.
Academy Award-winning Bicycle Thieves defined an era in cinema. In post-war, poverty-stricken Rome, a man hoping to support his desperate family with a new job loses his bicycle, his main means of transportation for work. With his wide-eyed young son in tow, he sets off to track down the thief. Simple in construction and dazzlingly rich in human insight, Bicycle Thieves embodies all the greatest strengths of the Italian neo-realist movement: emotional clarity, social righteousness, and brutal honesty.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Boom. Thanks, Criterion. That's basically, how to sum up the film. And
Yeah, and you're talking about the actors. So, and then what I wanted to bring up, but before I want to give the audience a brief idea of what it's about.
yeah,
So, like the kid that they get to play, the son, holy shit, he is fucking amazing.
yeah, for a child actor at the time, he was really good.
And he's not even an actor.
Yeah, he's just some kid.
He's just some kid off the street in Italy.
Italians
Oh my
1,
God.
Hollywood 0.
I know. We get some shitty child actors in our shit.
Yeah, we got.
They just pulled this kid off the street in the 1940s.
They got a kid off the street in the 40s, and we got Corey Feldman in the 80s.
Oh man.
There's no Corey Feldman's gonna be the jokes tonight.
Everybody's fucked when you're talked about on film snobs.
That's true. That's true.
So, I mean, this film is fantastic. A lot of the themes, I think some of the themes still resonate today. I mean, it's so universal.
Oh yeah, it's basically, I think it's more, it's like about, I think it really would resonate with more, I guess, men, because it's about like providing and being, I guess, comfortable in your masculinity, because like he's just a man trying to provide for his family, and he really loves his family.
He doesn't want to ruin that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very deep, especially for a film of this time period. Like,
yeah, like the whole restaurant scene is
yeah,
incredible. So all right, I'll briefly explain
the
it.
scene in the
So,
church as well. I do think that
one's
pretty
kind of
good.
funny, yeah.
That one's kind of funny, but it also, like, I don't know, there's probably some sort of message in there. I was sort of getting something out of that. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say with the restaurant scene, it's just this is brief scene where like there's like this I guess parallel imagery in that scene where we have like a rich family, and then you have our poor main characters, and they have like this sort of cross cutting and just showing like how badly the dad wishes he could give that to his family.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I don't know. I just loved that part.
It was
Now, Sean,
what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, wait, you finish your comment, and then I'll make you lose faith in humanity.
Well, it's the perfect way to get a message across that way, especially for the time period. I don't know if you can do that kind of thing now, but like, because people's brains are like stupider now. But like, but like, yeah, like as I was saying earlier, a lot of the messages in this film really resonate today, I think. Well,
Yep.
most of them, but like, yeah.
I think it resonates like more on a cultural level,
Yeah.
because I guess because we sort of have this thing now where there's a lot of penis envy in modern femininity, when there's a lot of beautiful things about women and women's culture. I don't think it brings any positive benefit to just have women try to be men. So that's why I think this film is really powerful, because it shows how beautiful the family unit is. And yeah.
And it's not just like it's not a typical like hero character either. He's he's not perfect, which is what I love about it. At one point he hits his son.
Oh yeah.
And like that whole
And you instantly
moment,
see the regret in the performance too.
like he's a flawed hero, but like he's so perfectly written as the flawed hero
Yeah.
to the point where it feels like what a father would actually act like in the situation.
Oh, absolutely.
But what were you gonna say before I was
Oh,
commenting?
so I was watching this for class, and when the teacher wanted us to discuss it, like 80% of the class was like, "I found it boring,"
Oh no!
and I'm like, "You people are film students."
The fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like
Idiots.
I don't blame this generation 100% because like I don't think like a lot of people like Citizen Kane. I think Citizen Kane's a good film. I just don't think it's one of the greatest films ever made. But I understand. I at least have an understanding of what that film did and why it's so important. A lot of other people nowadays wouldn't understand that, and I feel like that's really
Mm.
the problem with that. And also, our generation is so ADHD written. We just,
Oh,
we just
absolutely.
we just don't know what to do. Like our brains just don't know what to do with older films at all. Like it's
Or I mean, like, I feel like the 70s were like the exact opposite. I know this movie's the 40s, but I mean, like, if you pick any movie from the 70s, it's like the exact opposite in tone compared to like any modern film. Because like every modern movie is like super fast
that's when
paced,
the that
everything's happening super quick,
that's when the
and then like a
ADHD
lot of
started kicking in.
70s film. Yeah, exactly.
You're
And then
All
never,
the drugs.
you're
a
never
lot of
gonna see another
70s films are
apocalypse now.
super slow.
That
You're
sweet,
never gonna
sweet
see another
snowy
apocalypse
mountain.
now. You'll never see another apocalypse now.
You wouldn't see Apocalypse Now at all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Even like The Godfather. Like I know people nowadays who find The Godfather boring, and I'm like,
What?
what are you talking about?
The Godfather. Well, like I feel like Godfather might even not be a good example of a slower '70s film because I feel like every scene in that film is
There's
so
always
crucial.
something going on.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't even notice. So
I think Apocalypse Now is the better example.
Yeah. Anything really more, Jacob? We have to say. I mean, we pretty
Uh,
much covered everything, as far as I can
nah,
tell.
yeah. I would just strongly recommend watching it.
If
I will.
I don't know why I haven't watched this like until now. Again, I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is one of those films I just never got around to watching, but I've always heard so much about due to the Criterion forums, which I'm on a lot. So find me on Reddit if you can. It's literally like you/some film snobs, but it's me doing it.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
if I tried to use Reddit,
Well,
No.
it's just, yeah. Anyway, but check out Bicycle Thieves. Just fucking do it.
Reddit, where Instagram steals all its memes from.
oh, yeah.
What if we made memes on Reddit and then we stole our own memes from Reddit?
Why not?
Inception.
If you like what you're seeing, make sure to leave a like. If you want more content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Yeah, so I guess that's
Do
it
you want to
for,
like move to like modern news or something?
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna do since we've I
Right.
guess we're done talking about movies. So
Yeah.
One
I
thing-
mean, have you? Oh wait. Oh fuck,
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say.
that was
Fuck.
instant. But anyway,
Oh wait, yeah. Now I remember.
God damn it.
I also saw Mean Streets.
Oh
nice.
yeah, that's right. You were texting me about that.
It
Mean
was like
Streets is
it's one of
great.
Scorsese's earlier films, and I know Scorsese's a more popular director, so if you're interested in Scorsese's earlier work, watch Mean Streets. Though that one is a little more, I guess, avant-garde. Like
yeah.
the story is very abstract and thin, and it's more of like day in the life, I guess.
You know,
Like that's a movie where I would be understanding if people got bored, because that movie is very sort of
Well,
artistically.
a lot of those day in a life movies, I find a lot of people seem to be bored with them. Like I tried watching David Bryan's True Stories with somebody, and they said while they liked the music, they were like, "What the fuck was the story?"
Because listen,
Because it's supposed to
mean,
be like a day in a life in a town. Mean Streets, I guess, is kind of similar in that regard.
You got John Goodman wanting to be wanting to sing a song for the big celebration.
Yeah, in that movie, there's John Goodman trying to become like a country singer. There's fucking Texas Computer Corporations. David Bryan playing himself walking around Texas. There's a fucking fashion show. There's a fucking lady.
You got David Byrne in a cowboy hat, driving his car in the weirdest way possible.
Talking about dinosaurs and shit, and you're like, what?
I mean, it's so weird. I bought the movie, the Criterion movie, Blu-ray, because why
Which looks
not?
fantastic, by the way.
It does. It's incredible. You know, and it's a weird film, but it's a great film. You know, it's entertaining and.
And then, like, I'd say the same thing. I'd say the same thing with Mean Streets. I don't really get this mentality in people anymore. But anyway.
Mean Streets, I wouldn't recommend for everyone. Is all I'm saying. It's just if you're a big fan of Scorsese, it's like one of his earlier movies. Check it out. But
definitely check out Taxi Driver. Like that's a.
Well, Taxi Driver is
hasn't
like
seen Taxi Driver?
Yeah.
It's a little more not mainstream, but
I was gonna say it's palatable, right? There you go.
Yeah, palatable. Yeah.
That's actually the perfect way to put it.
I was like, there's some great camera work in that film.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And a great performance from Jodie Foster. You know.
When I just bring up camera work, I'm just thinking of that one shot where he's on the payphone and like the camera just goes away, like while he's still trying to get her attention on the phone. And then it like goes to the hallway. I love it. But anyways,
I know this is one more thing. I keep doing that one more thing. My name is Steve Jobs.
One more time.
Anyway. I thought like when as soon as I saw Harvey Keitel on the screen, the first thing I thought was,
wait, and what?
Why does he remind me of Tommy Wiseau?
Wait, what are you talking about?
And what Harvey Keitel in what context?
Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know the long hair, the tank top, the.
Oh,
it's just something about that, about the hat too. That he had a hat on too. That whole look, it struck me as Tommy Wiseau.
Man, Harvey Keitel really dropped off the face of the earth after the '90s.
He really didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's in The Irishman.
Oh, he is?
Well,
maybe.
Harvey Keitel didn't he own Live Entertainment in the '90s? Because I'm pretty sure he's the one that found Quentin Tarantino.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. I think he is.
Yeah, okay.
I thought wasn't he the one that like read Reservoir Dogs first?
Yeah, he was like, I fucking love this shit, and then he was with Live Entertainment, and then they.
I mean,
he was producer.
He was the original Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else you have to say, Jacob, before we interrupted you constantly? Because horribly.
No, just I just said I think I finished. I was just like Mean Streets probably not. It's not for everybody. So, yeah.
All right.
So, if you're interested, check it out.
So I guess before we get into anything like well, I mean this is major, but it's major in its own right. I'm a big horror guy. Everybody knows that. If you don't, well, yeah,
I mean,
I'm a horror
why do you
guy.
think Saw Halloween is a thing?
Well, yeah. But I think we will go into that at the end.
Good.
Because I do have to announce some shit. But
good.
There was a pretty major passing recently of Sid Haig. Sid Haig was a huge character actor, and he was always at a lot of conventions. A lot of people know him from the Rob Zombie films. You know, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, all that.
Rob Zombie's awesome.
Rob Zombie's a chill dude. I might not like
dude.
I might not like the Halloween remakes, but I at least appreciate he was doing something with them.
Yeah,
but,
I'll give him that. I always give him that. You know,
he's such a down to earth dude. But like, anyway, Sid Haig, Sid Haig was a cool dude. He was always really good to his fans and all that and stuff like that. And I'm a clown, aren't I fucking funny to you? Like that, but he was always a real down to earth guy. It's kind of sad to see him go. At least he was able to star in the finale of the trilogy Rob Zombie was doing, Free from Hell, which just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but I still have to watch it. But yeah, rest in peace, Sid Haig. Now into the
the snobby portion of the podcast is over. Now we're gonna get into normie news.
Hold on to your butts. All right.
I mean, not normie news because
let's go into Rambo.
It's funny.
Well, because I am the least snob of us, I think.
You're a snob now, anyway.
You're
Court
right, I
order,
am.
damn it. Anyway, so I do want to bring this up because Rambo 5 just came out. David Morrell, he's always despised the Rambo films. He just came out saying that he despises Rambo 5 the most.
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that, but I don't believe he hates all of them. But come on. Really? You hate the first film too?
First film's fantastic.
Yeah. He's just an asshole.
I'm just laughing at the
God.
title of the last one. Rambo
Last-
Last Blood.
It's Last Blood until part 6.
Because, okay, it's so stupid the way those movies are structured, though, title-wise. So it goes First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, then Rambo Last Blood.
Sean,
Rambo
not-
Last Blood Part 2.
at least you can figure out which one's which, Sean. Let me tell you something. Okay. The Shaft franchise, okay? You got the first Shaft. You got the first Shaft and the 2 sequels. The Samuel L. Jackson film is called Shaft. Do you think it's a remake? No, it's a continuation. Same universe. This new thing with like the 3 generations of Shaft, it's not a reboot. It's a sequel to the Samuel L. Jackson film.
And it's called Shaft.
Yeah.
Creativity's dead. Anyway. So yeah, David Morrell.
Shaft.
David Morrell, no one cares. First Blood was, a good book, but yeah,
The movie's great.
no one cares. You got your money. Whoop-de-doo. Shut up. Anyway.
Don't worry. Let's piss him off more and make a Rambo musical.
What's he gonna do? Sue us? Anyway.
I don't know.
So, we gotta shill out.
Also, the audience disparity on that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like, critics are hating it, but audiences are loving it. Which is kind of making me want to see it, because I prefer audience reactions over critics' reactions anyway. For the most part.
For me, it depends
For the
on
most
film.
part. It depends on the film. That's what I was going to get at.
What I find funny is we're like amateur critics.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Well, gee, thanks. No, but I think
Sorry.
It's like, how can we not like I don't listen to the Event Critics, and yet we're critics.
Listen to us. Everything we say is fact. We are critics.
Well, I mean,
That's
for
right.
me, it's not like I feel like I see a lot of. Well, I don't. Okay, this might be the wrong way to phrase this because I know a lot of the bigger YouTubers are critics for like Rotten Tomatoes, but I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of people just agree with whatever the tomato meter says or whatever IMDb says.
They do.
And when I guess what we try to do is like try to explain ourselves and not just regurgitate other opinions. So.
Which
Yeah,
is,
that's why I
which is
stopped-
why I prefer
I
like
stopped
YouTube
watching-
critics and stuff like that.
I stopped
Even if
watching reviews.
even if I
generally.
disagree with them, like I'm just like, okay, well, it's your own opinion. Not gonna at least appreciate why you don't like something.
That's
Are you
how I
saying
see
that?
it.
Yeah.
Basically, I've stopped watching movie reviews because, I mean, if I'm doing it, I don't want anyone else's opinion to influence mine.
I only watch it
No.
after I see the film,
Yeah,
just to see
I
if,
rarely
like,
do.
if my just to see if like, what if I missed something? I don't know, but like,
The only like reviews I'm aware of right now is just I know there was it was like a big media thing that was made out of it was like all the positive Joker reviews.
Oh,
Initially,
yeah.
like at what was it?
TIFF,
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean that
Toronto
was
International Film Festival. A lot of raving reviews, and then for some reason, a bunch of negative reviews came out after.
Yeah, I know now a lot of negative ones are coming out.
But it's still like being raved as like a great film. I mean, we have yet to see it because it's about to October, but like,
I mean, I want to see that movie.
yeah, we're all. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna see it.
I mean, I have 2 films I'm looking forward to, man. I'm looking forward to.
been saying Society.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to the Joker film because I like Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm looking forward to Dolomite Is My Name because I like Eddie Murphy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Both
Well-
totally different movies, but they're so
Hmm.
fascinating, and I really want to see them both. The Joker movie looks like a serious film that could be, really incredible film. And Dolomite Is My Name looks like a very funny movie. It reminds me, it's giving me Ed Wood, Disaster Artist vibes because it's.
And I fucking love
Yeah,
Ed Wood, so like,
I love Ed Wood. I love Disaster Artist, and this is gonna be a great film to add because, it looks like it's gonna be an interesting time.
yeah. So, I guess we're gonna shill ourselves out even more. Bob Iger. I mean, are we done talking? Oh,
Wait, what?
we're
About
done
Joker?
about other stuff.
I think.
Okay. So I guess we'll shill ourselves out, as I was saying earlier. So, Bob Iger admitted that Disney put too much Star Wars content out too quick. No shit, Sherlock.
Like, let's see. Force Awakens. Good movie.
Force Awakens, what was that, 2015?
Yeah.
15, yeah. Rogue One.
We had so much shit in just
Rogue
4
One
years.
is
Like, Force Awakens was good, not great. Rogue One was, good, not great. Last Jedi, it's okay.
I'd still say Last Jedi is just okay.
It took me a long time to get to that opinion.
I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly.
Jacob, I don't know if you remember this, but I was having a bad day one day, right? I walk into the college, which is not a good idea. And you and I were going to the same college at the time, and I walk in. You guys are watching The Last Jedi, and I'm just shitting on it. I'm just railing on it.
Oh yeah, that was when he
it was like my therapy that day. I was oh my god, and then I didn't watch it again until like a couple months after, and then because that's when I calmed down. I was like, it's just okay, but Solo.
Well, I know, like at that, I know around there, like I was known more as like this big Star Wars fan in the film thing, and like I remember one time this kid was like, "I hate The Last Jedi," and then their professor looks at me, and then I'm like, "What? You think I'm some fucking cringy fanboy who's in a cult, in the Star Wars cult? I don't give a fuck if he doesn't like the movie." Like he gives me this look like.
I always loved that look he gave everybody. I don't know why. It always made me laugh. Like I never knew whether I could take it seriously.
Like I'm not a neckbeard who spends $200 to go to the fucking Star Wars.
We gotta go to that Star Wars celebration so we can clap at products. Clap at products.
Spend $1,000 on tickets and hotels to watch ads.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I cried so much. That trailer changed my life.
They always wear slave Leia costumes.
Just think about this though. Some people spend a couple grand to watch commercials in a big room.
It's sad. I feel like.
Oh no! All right, I'm not gonna completely shit on it because I know like you can meet a lot of cool people who have a similar interests.
Yeah. But I go to record conventions sometimes and like
watching ads.
Anyway, I guess it's something similar since we are talking about Star Wars. George Lucas says he's disappointed in Disney. Well, you should have known what you were working with.
Wait,
indeed.
Was there like a deeper, I guess, like was there like a further quote of his complete response rather than just like the clickbaity headline?
a lot of it was just like from what I remember right now. I don't have it up at the moment. He was saying like he's disappointed in what they did with The Last Jedi, and not The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and just what they're doing with his property and all that, his baby.
That he gave away.
So yeah,
$4 billion.
George Lucas,
honestly, I don't know if I could say no to $4 billion if I was.
No, I don't think anybody could say no to
even though he got like conned and they've made like $12 billion since they bought it, but I don't know, $4 billion's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, Disney's a fucking power machine. Like, do you think Murdoch, when he was selling Fox, was like, "Fuck, I'm not gonna take however many $1 billion they gave him"? Like, come on.
Well, I think like they really want Fox because they know they can make a lot of fucking money by fucking what's the word? Re-releasing the original cuts. Yeah, there you go.
Because they didn't, I believe, who was it that directed Rogue One? Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards
said something like, "Oh, they were restoring the original New Hope in 4K, but while he was doing Rogue One. I don't know if that was true or not, but honestly, after seeing the Fox deal, I feel like that would make a lot of sense. It's probably gonna happen after Rise of Skywalker comes out. But
Buy
Actually,
all
wait,
9
wait.
Star Wars movies in 4K.
I feel like this is an opportunity for us to talk about something that we haven't had an opportunity to talk about. I don't think Matt's seen it, but since we're talking about Star Wars, Sean, do you want to talk about the re-edit of Last Jedi? That was done by
yeah,
Ivan Ortega. on
Ivan
YouTube.
Ortega, yeah.
So
He
there's
tried.
this YouTuber on there's this YouTuber named Ivan Ortega. He's a film editor, and he basically hated The Last Jedi so much that he re-edited the whole fucking thing to try to make it a little bit better.
He's actually pretty chill too. Like
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I love him.
And
But I just don't think it was salvageable.
yeah.
I watched his re-edit and I was just like, it's like slightly better. I don't know. It's just like it requires a whole fucking rework of the whole script.
Well, also he was also working, with an already edited film, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Like,
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, it would
know.
just require rewrites and reshoots. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
like-
It was
anything.
It was
more
never
you
going
can
to be a
do.
perfect film. Then again, Star Wars has
Yeah.
never been a perfect thing. I mean, let's be realistic. Empire comes really close to being perfect.
Oh yeah. Well, Empire's not even my favorite, but
Empire's my favorite, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that cut was good. Wasn't great.
it was good.
You can't really fix that movie, honestly.
I'm not gonna shit on his work though. He obviously put a lot
he
of
put
work
a lot
into
of work into it. So he should have kept
Like
that will.
I say the best part about his re-edit is at least like fixes the tone issues of the film.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was
he gets rid of
bipolar
a
as hell.
lot. Yeah, he
Not
gets rid of a
bipolar,
lot
damn
of the stupid comedy.
Did you get rid of the your mom joke?
Yeah, he got rid of all
Oh,
that.
good.
Actually, that's one of the best re-edited sequences. The whole opening scene, what he does with it is amazing, I think.
That like those red troopers, that whole fight scene he was re-editing with that. It was perfect until he got rid of the Wilhelm scream.
Well, I thought he put in a Wilhelm screen in the editing process, and then he just got rid of it when
Damn
the
it,
final...
dude! Petition to put it back. I'm just kidding. The guy gets chopped up and whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, that was just a quick thing to talk about since we were on Star Wars. But
Yeah. So I guess we get into the more well, this just came out recently, but I'll go ahead and go to the other article, which is more of a hot take thing. Do you know there's a Princess Bride remake supposedly being talked about?
Fuck you, Sony. Stop it. Don't fuck up this thing. It's a perfect movie. Stop. Thank you.
Okay, here's my problem though. There's certain movies. There's like an unknown. There's like a unspoken list of movies you cannot touch. Like
The Wizard
of Oz, yeah. Even though that story's in the public domain, you can't touch
and
it.
they have done different versions of it.
But it's never been a straight up remake of the 39 one.
No, never.
Because people know they can't do anything. Like they can't. That's perfect as
Casablanca.
it is. Casablanca, that's one of those films as well.
They almost did a remake with rumored. It was rumored at one point they were going to do a remake with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Picture that for a minute.
Maybe.
I like Kevin Costner, but I don't know if that will work.
Probably too busy working on Waterworld. Anyway.
Oh no. Oh.
Anyway.
Ear
Yeah.
fin.
You mean blue
Girls.
Mad Max?
Princess Bride
With ear gills.
Princess Bride is one of those films you can't touch. At least to me.
That does look like shit. That's the one thing.
I was actually talking with my sister about this, and from what I remember in the conversation, she was saying like there are parts she was saying there's parts that are boring, but it's part of the story, so she doesn't mind it. But in Princess Bride, but I don't understand. I don't understand what she means by that.
Neither do I.
I tried to ask her, she couldn't clarify. It's not the shit of my sister. I love you, but Jesus, I was like, what?
I'm just more confused, but.
It's the most confusing car conversation ever. But like,
Car conversations do that.
But like, Princess Bride, yeah, it's one of those films. Don't touch it. If you do, kill yourself. Anyway.
Sony, get your greasy, grubby fingers off.
Is it Amy Pascal that's still running Sony, or?
Even if she is, I don't even think they were. Oh, Disney owns. No, they don't. Do they?
Well,
No.
no.
Wait, what?
It depends on who has the rights to the book. Well, I don't know. That movie's under MGM.
Yeah.
That movie's had a weird distribution history. So, from what I remember, here in the U.S. when it first came out, it was distributed by Fox, but then it went to Castle Rock. Was it Castle Rock? No, it went to Nelson Entertainment. Then it went to MGM, and then MGM bought, or 20th Century Fox bought rights to MGM's library, so they ironically got back Princess Bride. And then Disney owns Fox, and then fucking Criterion released a Blu-ray, which is just like licensed from Fox, even though it's still an MGM film. But I don't. Maybe the book rights are owned by Sony now.
I'm confused.
Studiologically confused. Anyway,
Yeah.
make that a word. Merriam-Webster. Amy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's left?
Well, I just found this out. So, do you remember how the Halloween reboot was the way it was? How they were basically ignoring everything before it.
Yep.
They want to do they want to do the same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
They did it already.
and it failed.
Wait, so it's just like the only one that exists is the first Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah,
Like in the new continuity?
yeah. But here's the thing: they did that, and it failed.
Yeah, the timeline was all wrong.
It
They
was-
really messed it up.
It was Texas Chainsaw 3D, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
yeah.
didn't see it, so.
Don't.
something like that. I didn't even see
The
it.
only one of the Texas Chainsaw sequels anybody should see. Even it's not necessary at all because it's more like a parody. It's Texas Chainsaw 2. Because it basically that movie ignores the first one and it kind of makes fun of it. It's basically a parody. But anyway.
That's okay.
But that movie has one of the greatest fucking jump scares ever because you never see it coming. Anyway.
But still, yeah. Don't waste your time, everybody. Hollywood, it's time to stop.
I mean, if they really tried, they would have to really stretch it because Texas Chainsaw is one of those films where like only the first one worked. And it worked because it was one of the it was a really low budget film. I believe the distribution company was actually didn't the distribution company have ties to the Mafia?
I have no fucking clue.
I believe so.
Wait, actually, now you bring up Mafia. When you're done, I want to talk about something.
That's how Mafia works. Anyway,
I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget what you're saying.
Texas Chainsaw was I remember I've always liked Texas Chainsaw. I think it's one of the greatest horror films ever. It's very effective and it's very realistic. It's something that's plausible, which to me that's scarier than any sort of fantasy thing. Like as much as I love the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't think it's a super scary movie per se.
No, not really, but I like it.
So I remember I went to a horror festival at the historic Paramount Theater. And they were showing Texas Chainsaw. It's from the 4K restoration that was done a while back. When Toby Hooper was still alive. And they showed it and it was still really effective because there was a lot of people there that hasn't seen it. Actually, Jacob, somebody you and I know, was actually 2 people you and I know were actually in the theater with me. They just happened to be there and we were like, oh shit. And then we all sat next to each other. They hadn't seen it. I was the only one that'd seen it before. And really it was a lot of me looking at their reactions. Just because I like seeing how people react to certain movies that I've seen a billion times before, and it was still really effective. It scared the shit out of one of them, and the other one was it was really the other one was kind of yeah, it's still pretty fucking scary, especially for something that was made in '74. Yeah, I mean this came out literally a couple months after the first Black Christmas.
Oh man, did not know that.
This is all pre-Halloween too, so This is
So,
those two films are basically the groundwork.
Yeah.
Then Halloween was like, I'm the groundwork, bitch. Anyway, sorry, I'm going into my horror world again. But
Sean, I realize we all have those worlds. For me, it's Queen. For you, it's horror.
yeah, I'm like the James Rolfe of this group. Anyway,
Yeah, and I have respect for that.
I don't mean that in an egotistical way. I mean that as in like because he loves horror, I love horror, and I talk a lot
What
about
does that
horror.
make me then, Sean? What does that make me then?
Some guy. I don't know. Anyway.
Good. That's all I wanted. That's the answer I wanted.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. Just watch the original. I'm repeating myself over and over again.
Well, I guess I could talk about what I thought of earlier.
Yeah.
So when you brought up the Mafia, so I was talking to this guy recently who worked in the film industry, and well, that'll come up later. Anyways, for some reason we ended up talking about The Crow because I had seen it recently. The 1990 movie, well, not the year 90, but it was made in the 90s.
It was like 94, I think.
With Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know the story, Brandon Lee was tragically killed.
There was a squid malfunction.
Yes.
Shot him.
No, it actually was a gun.
Oh, what? I thought it was a squid malfunction.
No, yeah, this is why I'm gonna bring up this Mafia stuff. So this
got more interesting.
Yeah, I know. So the guy I was talking to, he says that in production design and in the prop making department, they don't use real guns because they know that if you use real guns, there's a possibility of it accidentally actually killing a person.
Yeah,
so
which makes a lot of sense.
So they specifically manufacture their own weapons that can only shoot blanks. For films, for film productions.
Squib guns.
Well, not just squib guns. Like they won't shoot if a lead bullet is at the end of that casing.
I call them squib guns, but anyway.
So then, so the story is that Brandon Lee, he was doing a scene because his character in the movie is like bulletproof, invincible.
Yeah.
He was doing a scene and one of the other actors shoots him, and instead of a blank in the gun was a real bullet, and he shot Brandon Lee and killed him on the set of the film. So this guy's theory is that because film companies specifically manufacture their own guns, so something like that does not happen. He says that he thinks it was the mob that killed Brandon Lee. Like they got into the film production and did something with the weapons and got this guy to kill Brandon Lee because there was like rumors and stuff about Bruce Lee's family being involved with the mob and shit.
Shit! Yeah, that's
owing
right.
them money because of like gambling.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So this guy's theory was basically that we don't use real guns on film sets, and Bruce Lee owed a lot of money to the mob. So my theory is that they got into the production of The Crow after they killed Bruce Lee, and they killed his son during the movie. And I was like, shit, bro.
That's some deep shit to think about if that's really true. Because damn, I had no idea. I always thought it was a squid malfunction.
It was something more like that, I believe.
I kind of want to believe what Jacob was saying, though.
I really don't want to believe the first one. I mean, this one. I really don't.
I mean,
I really don't.
I don't know what to believe. It's just it was really convincing
time.
Once the guy told me.
It's all
I have an easier time.
It's all theory,
accepting.
but like.
Yeah, I have an easier time accepting that it was an accident, not the Mafia.
Because now that's making me think.
He told me that for films they don't use real guns, man.
No, I know that. That's obvious. But
they just get like Nerf guns nowadays, and they're just like, yeah, painted black.
But they didn't use real guns.
But like, as I was like,
I mean, it's like they made their own that would only shoot blanks.
No, I know.
But like, now that's really starting to make me think. Like, I'm starting to like theorize now some things. Because, like, if Bruce Lee was involved in a mafia, Do you think maybe it
Well,
was?
it wasn't that he was involved in them. It's just that there was like this thing where like he used to gamble a lot. It was
Yeah,
just
and
the thing that he probably owed money to the mob.
that's what I'm getting at. Like that's why I'm saying involved, because
Okay.
like if he owed money to Mafia and maybe he didn't give it, so maybe it was like a revenge thing.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows the truth?
Who knows the truth? But god
Rest
damn,
in
that is
peace, the Lees. Alright?
rest in peace, both of them. But god
Yeah.
damn, that's some weird shit.
It is.
Interesting.
Wikipedia has a very detailed section about his death on the Crow's Wikipedia page.
What does it say?
Hmm.
A lot. Basically, a bunch of shit that I can't even fully recite because while I'm reading it, it's like I'm skimming through it more than really reading it. But there's the link. And it'll take you right to the part I'm looking at.
Alright, I guess we'll read it afterwards.
Basically, it involves blank.
See, look.
there's-
Brandon Lee died of a gunshot wound on March
right.
31st, 1993, after an accidental shooting on the set at EUE. It's just production studio in North Carolina. The scene which Lee was accidentally shot. Lee's character walks into his apartment and discovers his fiancée being beaten and raped by thugs. Actor Michael Macy character fires a .44 Magnum revolver at Lee as he walks into the room. Previously using a gun, it called for inert dummy cartridges fitted with bullets, but no powder or primer to be loaded in the revolver. Close-up scenes that utilize a revolver where the bullets are clearly visible from the front and do not require the gun to actually be fired. Dummy cartridges provide a more realistic appearance than blank rounds, which have no bullet. See, blank rounds have no bullet, Matt.
I know.
This is the theory.
No.
This is where the conspiracy
Well, keep
comes
going.
in.
Keep
And
going.
this is a theory.
Instead of this is a podcast, so we could do whatever the fuck we want. I'm just gonna read it, alright?
Fuck you, rules.
Instead of purchasing commercial dummy cartridges, the film's prop crew, hampered by time constraints, created their own by pulling the bullets from live rounds, dumping the powder charge, then reinserting the bullets. However, they unknowingly left the live percussion primer in place at the rear of the cartridge, accidentally, unknowingly
This is
left alive. At some point during filming, the revolver was apparently discharged with one of these improperly deactivated cartridges in the chamber, setting off the primer with enough force to drive the bullet partway into the barrel, where it became stuck, a condition known as a squib load. Maybe that's where you got it from. That's where you got that terminology from.
Maybe that's where I got it from.
Squib, or no, for those who don't know, it is a definition on Wikipedia. Squib load, also known as a squib round, pop, or no kick, is a firearm malfunction in which a fired projectile does not have enough force behind it to exit the barrel and thus becomes stuck. This type of malfunction can be extremely dangerous and as failing to notice, blah blah. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're gonna continue now.
Is incredibly dangerous, but that's pretty much. Actually, pretty much it. The only thing we have.
No, I'm reading the rest. All right. It's a podcast. We do what the fuck we want. The prop crew either failed to notice or failed to recognize the significance of this issue in the fatal scene, which called for the revolver to actually be fired at Lee from a distance of 12 to 15 feet. The dummy cartridges were exchanged for blank rounds, which feature a live powder cartridge and primer, but no bullet, thus allowing the gun to be fired without the risk of actual projectile. As a production company had sent the firearms specialist home early, responsibility for the guns was given to a prop assistant who was not aware of the rule checking all firearms before and after any handling. What?
This sounds like some.
And they're saying this is they're saying this conspiracy is not plausible, man.
Well, I didn't read the whole thing, but now I'm hearing more and more.
This is pretty plausible.
Therefore, the barrel was not checked for obstructions when it came time to load it with the blank rounds. Since the bullet from the dummy round was already trapped in the barrel, this caused the .44 Magnum bullet to be fired out of the barrel with virtually the same force as if the gun had been loaded with live ground, and struck Lee in the abdomen, mortally wounding him. He was rushed to the New Hanover Regional Medical Center, where he underwent 6 hours of surgery. However, attempts to save him were unsuccessful, and Lee was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. The shooting was ruled an accident.
Yeah, at this point,
And then the rest is
I-
just about the producers and how they canceled production, and then they had to continue because the studio already funded a lot of money into the film, and
So
all that
they
stuff.
like used a lot of CGI and some like techniques
Yeah.
and stuff like that, which
I
actually
mean,
was
like-
really impressive for '94.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
If
I'd
you
say
watch The
still
Crow,
is.
it's actually like 100% seamless. I think. Like you
Yeah.
can't
I'd
even
say
tell.
so. I would, and no, you know what, Jacob? Now I'll say it. I am. Yeah,
Plausible, at least.
plausible. Yeah.
Yeah, plausible. I'm not gonna say
Like,
for
it
sure.
Sounds like some
but
shit
plausible.
out of a movie. Like,
Oh
It
yeah.
does.
like some like weird crime movie no one's ever seen. Like, damn. I guess other than, I mean, there's only one other thing. And, by the way, we're lying. We're recording this 2 days before my birthday. It's actually Jim Henson Day.
Who?
Happy Jim Henson Day. Jacob,
You don't know who Jim Henson is?
I'm googling.
what?
Oh my god.
Oh my God, no. Okay,
What's a current?
I'm done.
You don't know what a current
Oh,
is?
okay, okay. I just didn't know the name. I didn't know him by name. I know who he is.
Matt was like, alright, I'm gonna head out. Oh my god, you opened the door.
Door. You'll get your rent money when you fix this damn door.
I googled it. I know who he is now. I remember.
Don't worry, I
I
wasn't.
just don't know by name.
Man. Nah, I'm alright. I understand.
Okay.
But
Anyway.
basically, I love Jim Henson's work, you know? I love the Muppets.
Well, he's just, like, I just love the story of him. Like, his story. But,
Yeah, he's actually a very fascinating man. Can we make a movie about Jim Henson? They were going to, I think.
well, Disney hasn't been doing anything with the Muppets since they fucking bought
Disney.
them, except for 2 movies. The second one was just whatever.
Sean, no. See, that's the problem.
I
Remember all the straight to DVD movies they made?
Yeah, hang on. I'm just
Remember
gonna.
the Muppets Wizard of Oz?
I'm just gonna mention this real quick. I actually
Go
finally
on.
got around to watching the latest Muppet. It sucked. Anyway.
I didn't think so, but that's me.
No.
Compared to the other movies,
No
yeah.
CGI in my Muppets. No CGI Muppets. No.
What the hell, man? Like,
Bad.
No.
Bad. Okay, no, I'm exaggerating. It's just okay. But
There are
holy
some
god,
things,
that CGI is
but-
awful.
Where
Is
was
there anything you
CGI Muppet?
guys are looking forward to though?
Joker.
I already mentioned Dolomite is my name and the Joker.
Sorry, dude. I just
What
want to cause an
else is
uprising.
there?
Well, like,
Knives
have
Out?
either of you? Is that the Ryan Johnson film?
Yeah.
Oh, Knives Out?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't know much about it, so.
You're saying some dumb shit, and I'm just like, you
Just ignore it, Jacob.
made me lose interest immediately.
Okay.
Don't let it influence your opinion.
I don't know anything about it, so. Well, have either of you seen the entire series of Breaking Bad?
No.
I still have to finish like the last 2
I've
seasons.
barely gotten through season 1, so no.
I still
Whoa,
have to finish the last 2
alright.
seasons, but there's that movie coming out.
Yeah, I know, because I've seen like the whole series like 3 times. But I'm really excited for the new El Camino movie, mainly because it's done by Vince Gilligan, like written and directed by him.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
I've seen the trailers, it looks really
That is good.
I guess that's it. I have nothing else on here.
That's good.
oh.
Well, there is one thing I want to mention again.
Well,
Friends is they're gonna on AMC theaters. They're gonna on different days play Friends episodes. I
Why?
think 4K
Why?
master.
Why?
Friends
a
is 25 years
sitcom
old.
in 4K.
Friends is 25, I guess.
I'm sure there'll be so much benefit to looking at the extremely beautifully composed medium shots of a sitcom in 4K on a big screen.
Like the,
Damn it, Jacob! You have to understand that there is some value to it.
fucking Seinfeld in 4K, could you imagine?
I'd rather see that. Even though I like Friends, I would rather see Seinfeld. I want to see Seinfeld on Blu-ray. I want Seinfeld on Blu-ray.
It would just be the crop version.
I don't care. I don't care. You know. In some weird ways, I do care. In other ways, I don't. The way I see it, they should go with the original aspect ratio if they can. If they can, and they will.
Wait, didn't Netflix recently get Seinfeld?
Yeah, that's a whole thing that's happening.
TBS lost the right, or Time Warner, AOL, Time Warner, AT&T, whoever fucking.
Well, wasn't Time Warner Spectrum? Because Time Warner had that merger.
Well, Time Warner is Warner Brothers technically, but they're now owned by
Basically,
AT&T.
TBS, I guess, won't be playing Seinfeld anymore.
TBS is an AT&T thing. Fucking.
Okay. Wait, do they have this? Is it a limited time Seinfeld? They have the rights, or do they have it like permanently, like they own Breaking Bad?
I think they probably own it permanently, or at least for another 10, 20 years. Something like that. I don't know. I didn't look too much into the details. I can look into it later, but I pretty much have nothing else to say. I've said everything I can.
Well, I mean, in terms of just briefly, in terms of sitcoms, I'm like the weirdo. Like I don't watch Friends. I don't watch Office.
Wait,
I don't watch Seinfeld. I'm like I have my greatest guilty pleasure is that '70s show.
I need to
That's
announce.
fine.
I need to announce some
Please
shit.
don't.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I almost
Go ahead.
forgot. I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, so I had to announce some stuff. So,
Good.
if you've seen on our Instagram and stuff like that, we've been working on a Snoboween sequel. I'm going to announce what that is right here, right now, and I'm going to cut it out of the podcast and make it a separate video to announce it. So, we are doing Snoboween, and we're calling it Public Domania. And what is Public Domania per se? Well, what this is, it's a sequel to the original Snoboween, but it's a marathon where we show 3 public domain films. I won't tell you what those films are; they'll be revealed as you watch. But what it's basically it continues the story of the first one, and there's some pretty revealing stuff in there. I'm not gonna go into it, but I thought of the idea and I was like, let's roll with it. Both Matt and Jacob have helped me out in some ways.
Yeah.
I did do a lot of it. My dogs are barking.
The dogs want to join the podcast, Sean. Why don't you bring them up? Why don't you bring them up and they can bark into the mic?
Aurora, Aria, why? Anyway. So, that's pretty much what I have to say about that, but there's one bigger announcement.
Ooh. What?
I've been working on writing a short film for us to do. It's a horror short. It is connected to Snoboween, but you won't have to watch the first 2 Snoboweens in order to understand it. It's its own separate thing.
I mean, seeing the other 2 is more like a bonus.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a short film. I'm not gonna go too much into it. I wrote the story. I'm in the middle of writing the first draft of the script right now, but it's something we're gonna be working on together.
Do you want to give a release window, or
probably not? Probably not
Okay.
at the moment. I would really want to say next year, but I don't know how that's gonna work out because I'm really writing this script in my free time. I mean, we're gonna shoot some of this during winter break, right? And
We planned on it.
We're gonna shoot a lot of this during the summer. Actually, a lot of it takes place at. There's very little location changes, which makes it easy for us.
Oh
So,
yeah.
A lot of it actually takes place in my house, which makes it easy. Because
Yeah.
we can just come here and be like, all right, we'll shoot this, we'll shoot that. It takes place at the park across the street from my house. Jacob, I actually have to talk to you about stuff with locations. Same thing with you, Matt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working on our first short film. I don't know how excited you guys are, but I'm very excited.
I mean, I'm excited, but I am working on a short film too.
Well-
Different thing unrelated to this channel.
So I just want to. I'll finish off real quick. I'm very excited. I've always wanted to do a short film. I've always wanted
Me
to.
too.
I want to get my foot in the door, and I get with you guys too. You guys have always wanted to get your foot in the door.
I mean, that's what I'm working on too.
We've never done that until now, so that's why I'm so excited to do this because we if we could make something super good, we can, send this in to film festivals and stuff like that. We can
Yeah.
do stuff with it.
An audience, get attention.
Yeah, I want, people to like see something. Like, I want to show people like what we can do.
I'll tell you guys something after, because I don't want what I recommend to be recorded, but
I get it. Yeah, we all have that.
Yeah, I'm excited as well.
All right, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this was a good podcast, I think.
Oh yeah, we talked a lot.
I mean, I definitely interrupted the most of all three of you.
Oh, shut up. We interrupted a lot. Everybody did.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I'm joking, Pat. So,
I'm not taking it as seriously as I sound.
well,
No.
I guess we're gonna head out for today. So,
Hopefully, our fellow friends didn't forget about us, all the other podcasts. in our
we
comment
love
section.
you.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah.
Stick with us, please.
Please, yes.
I have a wife and family. No, I don't.
We're sorry that we waited a month for the next one.
Yeah, we really are.
We will up our game. We're trying here now that we've gotten our everything
now that
worked out.
basically we're adjusted to what's going on. All of our situations are
because I moved colleges. Matt's still in college. Jacob's been at a different college.
I want to get out.
All right. So.
God.
I think that's one of our funniest YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
So yeah, I love it. I mean,
it's funny. Like I hated that video at first, but then I rewatched it and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking funny.
I think it's the best comic.
Anyway, we've been going on. This could probably take forever. So.
All right.
I've been your host.
Everyone.
I've been your host, Sean Reinertz.
Matt, you go.
Thank you all for watching. My name is Jim Henson.
I'm Tim Curry. This has been Some Film Snobs.
Oh.
Peace.
Fuck off, y'all. I love you.
Oh, Rocky. That's my worst Tim Curry impression.
I'll suck your dick as a favor.